So, regardless of how you want to put it, Batman Arkham Asylum is what I think is a wonder of a game. I'm sure many of you have heard some of the stories around the game, like the number of people that it took to develop it, the circumstances in some cases. In fact, one of them I thought was the more interesting circumstance. And that was the first time that they showed the game to some of the execs at Warner Brothers. And I think it's a story that, will be told over and over again. It's from a Reddit AMA that Stefan Hill did a while back. And I'm going to go ahead and narrate it to you. I would put it on the screen, but you can easily go find this. So I can't remember what even really triggered the answer or the response, but Stefan Hill went along the lines of saying, the way they knew that they had something special on their hands was they took the prototype of the game to an executive at Warner Brothers, right? So they sit down, they start playing the game. As they're playing the game, somebody goes and calls somebody else. And then somebody else goes and calls somebody else. And then somebody else goes and calls somebody else. And before you know, there are 50 people in this room and they're all watching the game getting played because somebody had gone to tell them, like, yo, come take a look at this. This was when they knew they had something special on their hands. Now, I aspire that one day I may be able to pull off something even, that is a hair in terms of depth and in terms of even closeness to what the Arkham Asylum game itself was able to offer. Just like Arkham Asylum, not the Arkham games. Like if Arkham was, a teddy bear, I just want a piece of the fur, just a tiny little bit, because that's how much quality this particular game itself brings. Playing it now, because it's the one Arkham game that I haven't finished, but having played the others and I've gone back to actually keep playing it. And I've been studying it, not just playing it, I've been studying it because it's so interesting to be able to go back and see what this team was able to pull off. It's just fantastic in every way. They knew their target and they wanted to nail it, and they nailed it. And not only did they nailed it pinpoint. Everything about the game spoke comic book. Everything about the game spoke Batman. Everything about the game spoke exactly how it needed to speak to the audience that played it. The environment, the way the levels are, the fact that it's a very interesting sandbox compared to like the open world that they eventually went with as they got to Arkham Knight. I think all these things really do call for celebration of such an interesting game. It's sad to see though that the magic of making games from when a lot of different studios and a lot of studio heads started is no longer the primary thing. Stefan Hill and Jamie Walker went to go start a whole new studio, 100 Stars. I'm hoping that they start dropping some interesting games and we can see that quality show up. In fact, to be honest, I'm one of those people that you call a student of them. In the past, some of you here on the channel, you've basically pointed me to some Stefan Hill videos on him talking about his game development philosophy, how he actually goes about them making their games. I've been listening and re-listening to these things because right now many of you know that I'm in the process of working on my own video game. And I must be very frank with you guys. My biggest inspiration as to how the world building went, as to how things were done, is Arkham Asylum. This is one of the interesting things about it because, again, it's a game that I haven't even beaten, but I know it's the game that basically spurned my favorite titles, Arkham City and Arkham, Knight. And so I'm playing it, and I'm just, in a sense, playing it from a whole different perspective. In fact, there's a reason I haven't beaten it. It's simply because I'm literally walking around this game every time I fire it up. I go back and replay the exact same things I've played, and I just keep thinking and guessing and just fawning over how they were able to accomplish this with how they accomplished it. And so this is kind of like that Chinese saying where they say you stand on the shoulders of those who've gone ahead of you, so that you can see farther than they have. And the only way I can climb on the shoulders of Stefan Hill and Jamie Walker is by engaging in their titles and constantly not just engaging in it, but studying their philosophy, studying the things that they've done. Now, yes, the whole conversation as to the combat system, that's a whole different, challenge in itself. To build the free flow combat system is, a work of marvel. I'm not intending on doing that actually. I would love to be able to do something that resonates with that if I'm capable of, but the funds and the resources and the expertise to do that is just way out of my reach. That's what a AAA budget's meant for, if you get what I mean. So hopefully we can still provide those elements, but more than the combat though, Arkham Asylum shined in so many ways. And these things are things that I'm over here taking notes from. And I'm sure those of you who are here who are in the superhero genre space, you're also taking notes of them as well, because we've seen basically what I think is an entire transformation of the superhero space, that we may not necessarily get things as authentic as they were. Even the Wonder Woman game that we're looking forward to, that will come with some caveats, seeing where the writing may be getting its inspiration and material from whom, and I would say sources whom I deem to not have the caliber of expertise and I would say inspiration as, say, the writers of games like Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum also had the writing. Paul Dini was there, and some others. But I wanted to go ahead and put a note here to say this is my inspiration. For the character that I'm building in a hero space. He's not going to be a superhero, but he is going to be a superhero because Batman, is human. And, he's going to have his human traits as well, but he's not, that doesn't take away from the superhero nature that he has. And so he, more than anything else, the character that I'm going to be building is not going to have superpowers. But that character has to have what I think is the depth that Batman has. I mean, I don't know if I could pull that off. Ladies and gentlemen, I would never dare to actually match up with Bob Kane. However, it's a very good teaching, aspect in terms of how things need to be done. But I'll leave this video here. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. If you want to know more about the project that we're working on, go ahead and tune in to the Video Game Fly School Discord server. Announcements are going to be coming very soon. Be patient. We're working. And we're making sure that we're able to deliver what we think is the best quality from our abilities to you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.